Demetrius I was a Greek king of Gandhara. He was the son of Euthydemus and succeeded him around 200 BC, after which he conquered extensive areas in what is now Afghanistan and Pakistan, thus creating an Indo-Greek Kingdom far from Hellenistic Greece. He was never defeated in battle and was posthumously qualified as the Invincible on the pedigree coins of his successor Agathocles. Demetrius was the name of at least two, probably three Greek kings of Bactria. The much debated Demetrius II was a possible relative, whereas Demetrius III is known only from numismatic evidence. Demetrius I was also known as the Second Alexander. Encounter with Antiochus III, the father of Demetrius, Euthydemus, was attacked by the Seleucid ruler Antiochus III around 210 BC. Although he commanded 10,000 horsemen, Euthydemus initially lost a battle on the Arius and had to retreat. He then successfully resisted a 3-year siege in the fortified city of Bactria, before Antiochus finally decided to recognize the new ruler. The final negotiations were made between Antiochus III and Demetrius. Antiochus III was reportedly highly impressed by the demeanor of the young prince, and offered him one of his daughters in marriage around 206 BC, and after several journeys of tales to and fro between the two, Euthydemus at last sent his son Demetrius to confirm the terms of the treaty. Antiochus received the young prince, and judging from his appearance, conversation, and the dignity of his manners that he was worthy of royal power, he first promised to give him one of his own daughters, and secondly conceded the royal title to his father. Polybius 11.34. The term used for young prince is nioniskos, suggesting an age around 16, which in turn gives a birth date for Demetrius around 222 BC. Invasion of India. Demetrius started the invasion of northwestern India in 180 BC, following the destruction of the Mauryan dynasty by the general Pushyamitra Shunga, who then founded the new Indian Shunga dynasty. The Mauryans had diplomatic alliances with the Greeks, and they may have been considered as allies by the Greco-Bactrians. The Greco-Bactrians may also have invaded India in order to protect Greek populations in the subcontinent. Demetrius may have first started to recover the province of Arachosia, an area south of the Hindu Kush already inhabited by many Greeks but ruled by the Mauryas since the liberation of the territory by Chandragupta from Seleucus. In his Parthian Stations, Isidorus of Charax mentions a colony named Demetrias, supposedly founded by Demetrius himself. Beyond is Arachosia, and the Parthians call this White India. There of the city of Biyti and the city of Pharsan and the city of Korachod and the city of Demetrias. Then Alexandropolis, the metropolis of Arachosia. It is Greek, and by it flows the river Arachotis. As far as this place the land is under the rule of the Parthians. Quote, Parthian Stations, 1st century BC. A Greek dedication inscribed on stone and discovered in Kuliab, 100 kilometers northeast of Icanu. Also mentioned the victories of the prince Demetrius during the reign of his father. Heliodotos dedicated this fragrant altar so that the greatest of all kings Euthydemus, as well as his son, the glorious, victorious and remarkable Demetrius, be preserved of all pains, with the help of the fortune with divine thoughts. The Greek campaigns may have gone as far as the capital Pataliputra in eastern India. Those who came after Alexander went to the Ganges and Pataliputra. The Greeks who caused Bactria to revolt grew so powerful on account of the fertility of the country that they became masters, not only of Ariana, but also of India, as Apollodorus of Artemita says, and more tribes were subdued by them than by Alexander, by Menander in particular, for some were subdued by him personally and others by Demetrius, the son of Euthydemus, the king of the Bactrians. It is generally considered that Demetrius ruled in Taxila. The Indian records also describes Greek attacks on Sakata, Panchala, Mathura and Pataliputra. However, the campaigns to Pataliputra are generally attested to the later king Menander I, and Demetrius I probably only invaded areas in Pakistan. Other kings may have expanded the territory as well. By California 175 BC, the Indo-Greeks ruled parts of northwestern India, while the Shungas remained in the Gangetic, central, and eastern India. The Indo-Greek presence in the northwest continued until the last petty principality was absorbed by the Sakas around 20 BC. The Hathagamfa inscription of the Kalinga king Kharavela mentions that, fearing him, a Yavana king, a general retreated to Mathura with his demoralized army. The name of the Yavana king is not clear, but it contains 3 letters, and the middle letter can be read as Marami. Some historians, such as R.D. Banerjee and K.P. Jayuswal, reconstructed the name of the Yavana king as Demeter, and identified him with Demetrius. However, several other historians, such as Ramaprasad Chanda, Sailendra Nath Sen and P. L. Gupta, disagree with interpretation. Aftermath. Demetrius I died of unknown reasons, and the date 180 BC is merely a suggestion aimed to allow suitable regnal periods for subsequent kings, of which there were several. Even if some of them were co-regents, civil wars and temporary divisions of the empire are most likely. The kings Pantaleon, Antimachus, Agathocles and possibly Euthydemus II ruled after Demetrius I, and theories about their origin include all of them being relatives of Demetrius I or only Antimachus. Eventually, the kingdom of Bactria fell to the able newcomer Eucratides. Demetrius II was a later king, possibly a son and nephew of his namesake, and he ruled in India only. Justin mentions him being defeated by the Bactrian king Eucratides, an event which took place at the end of the latter's reign, possibly around 150 BC. Demetrius II left behind his generals Uploadalt and Menander I, who in turn became kings of India and rulers of the Indo-Greek Kingdom following his death. According to Ptolemy, a Demetriopolis was founded in Arachosia. Demetrius is a legend as well as an enigma. He was mentioned by Geoffrey Chaucer. Demetrius and Buddhism. Buddhism flourished under the Indo-Greek kings, and it has been suggested by W. Tarn that their invasion of India was not only intended to show the support for the Mauryan Empire. However, the persecution in turn is debatable, with contemporary historians such as Romila Tharpa suggesting that some of the accounts might be the product of exaggeration from Buddhist missionaries. Tharpa attributes purely economic motivations to the Indo-Greek invasion of southern Asia. Coinage and connection with Buddhism. The coins of Demetrius are of 4 types. One bilingual type with Greek and Kharosthi legends exists. It is naturally associated with the Indian Demetrius II. A series with the king in diadem are likely to be early issues of Demetrius I. More interesting are the elephant coins. The first type shows Demetrius with elephant crown, a well-known symbol of India. The other elephant type of Demetrius I represents a rejoicing elephant, depicted on the front on the coin and surrounded by the royal bead and real decoration, and therefore treated on the same level as a king. The elephant, one of the symbols of Buddhism and a Gautama Buddha, possibly represents the victory of Buddhism brought about by Demetrius. The reverse of the coin depicts the caduceus, symbol of reconciliation between 2 fighting serpents, which is possibly a representation of peace between the Greeks and the Shungas, and likewise between Buddhism and Hinduism. Alternatively though, the elephant has also been described as a possible symbol of the Indian capital of Taxila, or still as a symbol of India. Unambiguous Buddhist symbols are found on later Greek coins, but Demetrius I, who was born in the milieu of Bactria and struck coins with Buddhist gods, personally was a Buddhist. His conquests did however influence the Buddhist religion in India. Greco-Buddhist art. There are several parallels between Demetrius and the first representations of the Greek Buddha in human form. Also, in another parallel, the characteristic protector deity of Demetrius was represented in the Greco-Buddhist art of Gandhara as the protector deity of the Buddha.